Chapter 1. The Descent. Kyle's boots crunched against the gravel as he made his way up the rocky trail, the cold air biting at his face. The mountain loomed in the distance, its peak shrouded in a blanket of thick clouds. It was supposed to be a weekend trip, a brief escape from the weight of the city, and from the noise that always seemed to follow him. Kyle's pale skin, darker for the occasional day spent in the sun, and his 5 feet 4 inches frame didn't exactly make him stand out in a crowd. His black hair, short and messily styled, brushed the collar of his jacket, while his brown eyes scanned the steep incline ahead. He had always hated hiking, but the stillness of the mountains had drawn him in like a magnet. He gripped the nearby rock with his left hand, careful not to lose his footing. His backpack weighed heavy on his shoulders, and the further up he went, the more his breath became ragged. He was almost there, almost at the cliffside he'd been eyeing all morning. The thrill of standing at the edge of the world had always appealed to him. It was just something about the height, the possibility of falling, that made his pulse race. But as he reached the top, his foot caught on a loose stone. In an instant, his body lurched forward. Kyle's heart skipped a beat as he teetered at the edge of the cliff, the vast expanse of sky and earth before him. His breath came in short gasps, and for a moment, the world seemed to slow down. The stone beneath his foot slid, and he stumbled forward, arms flailing wildly. Then, something shifted. A surge of energy ran through his body. It was like nothing he had ever felt before, an invisible force pulling at the space around him. His heart raced, but it wasn't from fear anymore. The air around him seemed to bend and twist, the wind caught in an unseen whirlpool. Kyle's senses sharpened, his body reacting instinctively as though it knew exactly what to do. The ground beneath him stabilized. A brief flicker of light flashed through his mind as he found himself inches from the edge of the cliff, his balance perfectly centered. His feet planted firmly on the rocky surface. Slowly, cautiously, he stood up straight, looking around. The sensation faded, and for a moment, he thought he had imagined it. But as his breath steadied, he couldn't shake the feeling that something had changed. The air, the space around him, seemed different now, like he was standing in the center of everything, yet nothing. He swallowed hard, his thoughts racing. He had nearly fallen. That much was clear. But what had happened?